Bad boy.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You've tuned in live to the Flyest Sports and Entertainment Podcast in all the land. This is statlinesmatter. I'm your host, Mark E. Stewart, and with the man over here with his hands in the air.
That's the crowd screaming.
Screaming like the crowd, like he Keith Sweat.
Because there's people, people wait on our show to come on like how they used to wait for Michael's videos to debut. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say they don't.
They gathered around like how they used to listen to Jack Johnson fights on the radio.
Doing this?
Yeah.
Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson one of the guys who used to do this?
Yeah, because I think he invented that. That's
invented that?
Because before that, I just think they was going, no move.
Hey, what if you got in a fight and you was at the club and you just went...
I couldn't fight. I mean,
you got it.
You got it. You got it, man.
You got it.
Like, and he was like, come on. Come on. He got his fist turned inward.
Yo.
I'd be like, you won, bro. You won.
You got it.
Like, yeah.
You won tonight.
Whatever you did, like you spilled this whole thing on my, I'm just going to have to take this.
Hey, so I'm starting to feel like all we talking about is NBA. We turned it into an NBA show because
it's the best year-round sport, I think.
We can argue that.
Yeah.
We should argue that on a show. Not tonight.
Okay, not tonight.
But we should argue that at some point.
Because you and I have exchanged a lot of correspondence over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just on our, texts and stuff like that. Just like
I actually think sometimes some of our better stuff probably ends up on that text message.
Yeah.
And particularly in the messages, the audio messages that you leave that disappear.
Yes. Yeah.
We're like the king of like 3 minute, like, shut your ass up. You sound crazy. And like and then one then three come back in like in a row and
yeah, because that's the great part about voice notes, because it's not necessarily a voice message. But it's something I can hit you real quick.
Right.
You can listen to it whenever you want.
Right.
And then you can get back, if you're busy on the phone. Like so shout out to iPhone and the voice notes. I don't know if Android does that, but
I never think about Android until the only time I think about Android is when you hit somebody and
you're
somebody's in the everybody's saying somebody's got the green.
Who's got the green?
Who's the green guy?
Who's the person out here talking about the earth
and
is
nobody
flat?
ever owns it. Like nobody ever says I got the green thing.
I got the green. I still be looking at people like, yo, right? Like it's kind of like watching somebody smoke a cigarette. It's like we still doing that.
But it is definitely we still doing that. But the thing about a cigarette is that some people can smoke it and make it look mad cool. Like my brother Tricky used to smoke cigarettes and he used to make it look cool. He had a way of like. he had a way of doing it. It was dope. I
inhaled a lot of his secondhand smoke. I told him when he got his honorary doctorate, I said, who knew that I was inhaling the smoke of a doctor?
Yeah. I mean, knock on wood, but yeah, I'm from
this. Ain't wood.
This show ain't wood, but this is maybe it is. But I tell you this, my mom has blown copious amounts of cigarette smoke, secondhand smoke into my lungs, starting as a child. I'm from the 70s.
Yeah.
So I didn't have no car seat.
We have bought cigarettes for people as children. Yeah. As minors, 7, 8 years old, my grandmother would send me in there to get a pack of Salem's Light.
Yeah. So but we made it. We could.
We did. And I don't smoke.
I smoke cigars. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Okay. Well, you got to put me on. You
don't want to come into that life, do we?
Nah.
Like it's one of them things that you either want to or you don't. But I don't think anybody can say, hey, smoke this, because you're almost guaranteed to have a bad experience the first time.
Well, I tried a few times and it just seemed like it's too big of a thing to smoke. Like it's very intimidating.
If it gets in your lungs, if you really inhale it, you'll have a bad night. And if you've been drinking, you're going to have a real bad. The combination of cigar smoke and liquor.
But I see people drinking and having scotch all the time.
Because they know how to smoke. But if you inhale the cigar,
okay,
it's donezo. You're donezo.
But having a cigar and an alcoholic beverage is
really the only way to
customary.
Do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying for your first time.
Okay.
Like you get that up and you get that going, you're going to be sick.
And you've experienced.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes you can get your buzz that don't feel great.
Oh.
Like I have a.
What's the best cigar you've ever had?
I don't do that. I'm gonna tell you why. because I've had a lot of good cigars, but for me, it's about creating the atmosphere.
Like a meal.
What you're smoking. Like it's the flavor profile of what you're smoking. It's about what you're drinking. It's about the time of year. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Are you in Mexico? Are you in Miami? It's like, where am I while I'm doing this?
Just let you know how many wonderful places he's been.
And then sometimes you smoking local. Like, am I in the Caribbean? Am I in, you know what I mean? Like, where am I?
So when we used to go to Morton's and the guy was there wrapping the cigars, was that a big deal or was that a regular deal?
I don't think it's big or regular. I think there's places like it depends
because it looked cool.
And no, it's cool. It's a cool aesthetic, but it literally just depends on what they're wrapping, what the quality of the tobacco is, like all that kind of stuff. It's like, you're wrapping some bullshit.
So what's your go-to? You have a go-to cigar?
I do. I'm not endorsing anything.
No,
without,
we can get a sponsorship.
I mean, I have some go-tos. I like Avos a lot. Hey. I'll smoke those. Because see, what happens is each cigar maker makes different ones for different situations. So you know what I'm saying? Like there's cigars that I like when I don't really want a lot of power, so like or a strong flavor.
Lighting the ass cigar.
Yeah, something that you smoking, but it's more like then there's some time when you got a bourbon and
so it's like a wine cigar.
Yeah,
like a wine version. Like it ain't tequila.
You're trying to pair it. And there's certain things like when you're in Mexico, when I'm in Mexico and I'm on that tequila, there's certain things that I smoke, So.
Is there a country that does it the best that you prefer?
Obviously everybody talks about Cuban. I had Cubans. I had one of my brother's Cubans the other day. But see, people think like Cuban is like there's a gazillion different types of Cuban. It's just where they're grown and the growers and all that. But I've had some great cigars from Cuba.
Okay,
but you could get a great cigar that's
from Macon, Georgia,
from Connecticut. Like Connecticut has cigars.
Can you get one from Fulton County?
I don't think so. And if you can, I haven't had one. Anyway, let's talk a little bit of basketball because that's what we were talking about. Basketball is a year-round sport. And what's dominating the headlines right now is there's a huge buzz building about Kevin Durant possibly going to the Celtics. So unless you've been under a rock, Kevin Durant has requested a trade. It's been about 4 weeks. The market... It hasn't really materialized yet because Brooklyn's asking for a lot. So
because of Gobert's deal, just messed up the algorithm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess at some point you're using certain things as a marker, and in that particular situation, the asking price for Kevin is a lot, so it softened the market a bit. But he still wants out. I think the same thing happened with Kyrie, where there was sort of a plan to get him to the Lakers, but they're asking for a lot, and they're asking for things that, to be honest with you, I don't even think LA can give. So you would have to have a third team, possibly a fourth team.
I heard that Charlotte wanted Westbrook, but they wanted him in a bench capacity behind, obviously, LaMelo.
Yeah, I think I mean that
I thought that was weird.
I think it's weird. I don't think Westbrook is a fit anywhere.
No.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think
agree.
He's like, where is he a fit? The Drew League?
But okay, so
and let me be clear. I'm saying this strictly from the point of view is that this is now a league.
Well, the Drew League made it funny though.
Values shooting, perimeter shooting, which when he was at his best, he was streaky.
Well, and
now he's just bad shooting.
They value perimeter shooting from distance. When he was at his best, he was the mid-range guy pulling up from the elbows.
Right.
But to your point,
I'm saying perimeter. I'm saying around the 3-point line.
Yeah, but he ain't never.
Nah, because now he's to the point where he's bricking layups and all of that. And I'm not. Listen, I think the man has taken enough abuse, and I think he's got over 23,000 points. So I'm not going to act like he's not, one of the greater players. I'm not saying the greatest, but one of the greater players to play the game. But sometimes you just evolve past your moment, or you hit that sort of mental block where you can't perform at the same level. So I think they're stuck with him at least to about the All-Star break on that.
Well, it's his style of play. It's always been, reckless abandon, and it's been 100 miles per hour to his credit, because he's one of the guys you can depend on. Westbrook. I mean, remember that time he was playing with that big old knot on the side of his face.
And
It just looked dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that can't be safe.
He needs medical attention.
Yeah. But, you know, he's a guy that's always been going 100 miles per hour. And it obviously a very fan-friendly form of basketball. Yeah. But when I was listening about this Boston deal and I heard, you know, what they were offering, I was like, I mean, for Boston, you do it in 2 seconds. I mean, the Jaylen Brown and Derek White and Marcus Smart, and I guess their first round pick for like, to me, Marcus Smart, now, especially now that you have Malcolm Brogdon in the fold, I thought he was expendable beforehand if you're talking about gaining Kevin Durant. But I think for me, if I'm the Nets, any deal that don't involve Jason Tatum, you're not finna give me your 2 guy for my all-time great guy.
Well, you have to factor in age with all of this. It's like Kevin is, I'm not saying he's in the later stages, but let's say
he's 30, he'll be 34 when
he's on the back end of his prime.
Yeah, he's 30, he'll be 34.
Yeah.
Now, if he's on the LeBron, you know, diet or whatever, you know, obviously that's going to lend itself. And then for him, I think he can actually still perform at a high level because he's a perimeter guy, and that just don't go away. Like, he don't play with the, you know, driving and taking contact, and he can do that. Yeah. He does do that, but he's a perimeter guy. He's a mid-range guy,
and he's only gonna be a better shooter. He's not gonna get worse.
Yeah, I mean, so everything about me, I hang up if you ain't chasing. If Jason Tatum's not a part of this deal, though, I just feel like I can get better.
But Jason Tatum, in my view, is an untouchable player. Yeah, I'm taking the call because I think if you're Brooklyn and he doesn't want to be there, I think there is a haul that you can get back, especially, and also with Kyrie and even Simmons under contract, that you can completely, either through draft picks or young players, completely remake your roster, maybe with a combination of a lot of things, young players, because right now it's not an old team, but it's not a young team.
Right.
So they can get back on track fast with a combination. Like if you ended up with a Jaylen Brown, if you ended up with Marcus Smart, who I like a lot more than you do, and Derek White, and like a series of picks, and then you move Kyrie for a series of picks, and then you move Simmons, who I actually think is still pretty valuable.
I do too.
Because he's under contract for like 4 more years and he's still a good player, maybe with a little bit of a head case, but is still a good player. You can be like, all right, we got 19 first-round picks and a bunch of young guys. So I at least answer the phone if I have a larger thought process in terms of what I think I want to do.
I think, yes, if I can get a haul, but what I'm not, like, I feel like I have one of the unique assets in the history of trade value. Yeah. You know, I have, you know, one of the top 5 guys. Some people think he's number 1 in the NBA right now. And I have him under contract for 4 more years.
Yeah.
So what I'm giving you is stability. And so what you're going to give me is that in return.
Oh, I think if him and Tatum, see, the question is, can they play together? Because they have similar games.
And they play the same position.
Yeah, they have similar. They play the same positions and they play it similarly.
Okay. How about this? Okay, that's actually a great question. I actually think that they can play together because Jaylen Brown played the exact same position. He's just a poor man's version of Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And Jason Tatum is not a selfish basketball player. He's a very willing
passer for sure. For sure.
I think here's the thing though. So when I was looking at the potential trade, I was like, if they just keep who they got, if you keep Marcus and you know Jaylen and Malcolm Brogdon,
they're like top 2 in the East.
Yeah, I'm
just
like,
as currently comprised.
Yeah, good
as currently comprised. Because keep in mind too, they played all the playoffs and all the finals with their center wasn't 100%
with his kneecap hanging out.
Yeah.
So if you bring back that group,
all defensive center,
you bring back that group.
Yeah.
With Malcolm Brogdon, who is a bucket, who obviously he passes the ball, he rebounds the ball. This guy gets, you know, he'll get you a triple-double once every 2 weeks, you know. So you get a guy like now, he only played 36 games last year, but if you get him back, he's healthy. Now you have not only 2 terrific wing defenders, but now you have Jason Tatum maybe not so much, but now you have two defenders at the guard spot. Brogdon is your point guard. That's the guy that's going to handle the ball. Right. That's the guy that's going to, so you automatically cut your turnovers by 2/3.
Right.
And so and then your IQ goes way up. Now, I don't know, you can't really play Marcus Smart off the ball. But if you're up by a certain amount and you want some defense, I just think he gives you so many options, particularly with Brogdon, because he's so good on the offensive end, on the defensive end, passing the ball. He's not a selfish player. He's not a guy that's a very emotional guy. So he's your steady. Mm-hmm. If you could create a point guard, just be like, give me the most steady guy that you can create without he doesn't do anything exceptional. Right. He does everything really good. Right. I think that that's the guy that you can bring in and go, okay, I think this is somebody that may be able to push us to a Game 7.
Yeah. I understand why they're answering the phone, but I don't make the move.
No.
And here's the other thing too.
Well, if I get Durant,
I don't. But here's the thing. I don't know if and I love Durant. I don't know if I make the move, and I don't know if I'm Brooklyn if I'm inclined to move him just because he asked.
Yeah.
You got guys under contract, and maybe I'm going to sound a little bit like pro organization on this, but man, get out there and play ball. I don't give a shit if you mad.
I don't think you're pro organization. You're just going if I'm Brooklyn, which is if you're approaching it from Brooklyn.
But I think all those guys, it's like I'm gonna be mad, so I'm gonna trade everybody. No, I'm gonna bring y'all in and go. Listen, we not trading nobody yet.
Do you think that from the tone of how things have gone, do you think that Kevin will carry this into the start of the season? Prognosticate.
When you say Kevin carrying it,
he won't play.
Oh, he got to show up.
So, okay, you got
to show up. What are we saying?
Do you think that he's like, I want to trade? I'm not. Does he pull Adrian Dantley who wouldn't show up? I
think this is different because
I just pulled an Adrian Dantley.
You did. Nah, man, you got to show up because there's more at stake. It's legacy. And
I'm just saying, what do you think he gonna do?
He got to show up, man. Like Kevin is a lot of things, but what he's not like a guy who don't respect the game. Like he's like a Twitter gangster or whatever. What I mean? He likes to go to war with people through with his Twitter fingers, and he's a different generation. But on the court, I like to believe Kevin is old school. Like he's a baller. And you got to show up if you're getting paid.
I hope. But now you got guys just, they not showing up.
But he's not guys.
Well, I hope not because the NBA is better when he's out there busting ass.
Because let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're talking about Kyrie. But I don't think there's
Ben.
Well, Ben was legitimately hurt.
Yeah,
you can roll your eyes, but you're not gonna go get a back surgery to just go along with the.
He got hurt while he was working out. It's like
no, he aggravated the injury.
So you could have been playing all that time.
No, he wasn't 100%.
And then he wasn't hurt in Philly.
But he wasn't sitting out in Philly.
He was. He sat out all the way till they traded him.
Well, because he was like, okay, I want to be gone.
Yeah, I'm mad.
He sat out for that. But I'm saying when he got to Brooklyn, he wasn't sitting out in protest.
Yeah, so I'm saying now play.
He wasn't hurt.
You're not hurt.
How are you going to tell a man who ultimately ends up in back surgery he wasn't hurt?
Take that epidural. Let's go, man. Come on now. God, dog. Benny.
That's playing with the money.
What I'm saying is when they traded him, he wasn't hurt at that point.
He was hurt.
Because Brooklyn never makes the trade. They're not going to make the trade. So
maybe they will, maybe they won't, because they want to get Harden out.
Because we kept thinking like, what do they keep saying? Oh, he's 2 weeks away, he's 3 weeks away. Well, now he's running 5-on-5. I'm like, if you're running 5-on-5, they run 5-on-5
during the game
at the Barclays.
Yeah, but that's playing with the money, man. These guys are Ferraris, man. All of them.
I don't know what he is.
I think when he gets
you
back
just pull him out on Sundays and that's it.
I think when he gets on the court, he does some things that I think would work.
I'm a Ben Simmons fan, and you I've been arguing on whether it's been on our blog.
Yeah,
it's been me and you. Different group chats. I'm a Ben Simmons guy. I'm the only one.
Well, but here's the thing.
It's been 2 years since he played.
I like Ben Simmons. We just like him differently. I like him as a piece on your team and a third scoring option.
But we talked about that. He was the third scoring option in Philly behind Tobias Harris. And,
but see, I never looked at Ben as an elite. You valued him as an elite NBA player. I never saw it. Because I said, when you can't shoot the ball, and this is before the head trip happened, you can't be that guy.
We had that debate, and that's the exact position that you took. Yeah. I took the position that, I mean,
he still impacts the game.
Well, yes, and I'm saying if he's still giving you 14, 15 points a game, who cares if it's jump shots? And if you surround him with shooters.
Well, and that was the point that I made on the podcast like a couple of years ago. If you put him at the middle of the floor, and it's Joe Harris over there, and it's Seth Curry over there, and it's Kevin Durant over there, and it's Kyrie.
Good night.
It's some shit you can get done. That's what I'm saying. It's a legitimate championship team if they go out there.
Because he's a willing defender. Not only a willing defender, he's one of the best on-ball defenders.
An impact defender.
And he's a willing rebounder.
And he's versatile.
And he's tall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's versatile.
A big-ass point guard.
Because you can move him around on the defensive end.
Hey, I don't think people have talked this glowingly about Ben Simmons in quite some time.
To me, it's all in context, because I love these conversations because we have them like, and when I say we, I mean the basketball world. All of us that talk about the game, we talk about this, these situations as if these guys are never going to end up on the floor. Yes, is Kyrie mercurial? Absolutely. Is Kevin Durant does he be on his Twitter and is he petty?
Shut your ass up.
Yeah, he's super petty.
He's like, dude, I'm 9. Shut your 9-year-old ass up.
Shut your 9-year-old ass up. But at some point, these guys can be on the floor together in a game 7. And then what they're doing with Twitter and all that, it doesn't matter. When a 6'10" guy is bringing the ball down and looking for Joe Harris and looking for Seth Curry and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, if they ever, I would hope that just try it. Just try, guys. Just try to the All-Star break.
Oh, if they come back, everybody, they're going to be hell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm Brooklyn, I'd just be like, look, guys, I ain't trading nobody.
Yeah, sorry.
So, get out there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, here goes an all-expense paid trip to whatever the most exclusive resort is. All y'all going.
Yeah, and you just bring them in and you try to boss up, man.
10 days.
And see, this
y'all make nice.
And let me say this before we change topics. This is why I was thinking about this the other day. Nobody ever says anything about Steve Nash, about the terrible job that he's done. Because as much as people want to say about Phil Jackson, and Phil had all the best players and he won, what did Phil win? Like 12 championships, like 6 and 10 or 6 and 5. He won 11. And everybody goes, oh, he had the best players. And then they say the same thing about Kerr. But what you don't understand is in the NBA game where guys can play, it's really getting guys to buy into what you're trying to do with the team and accept roles. And Nash did not have the ability to bring those guys together, even in injury, and bring them together to work for a common goal. And if he had any sort of balls about him, he would be doing that right now, going, guys, let's just pump the brakes for a second with these trade requests. We're all still here. We're all still under contract. Let's give this a try. And if not, you can lie to him and be like, man, I'll get y'all all out of here. I'll trade all y'all. But right now, give me till February with this.
I just think Steve just looked scared in the face. Like I don't know.
He looked like he's scared that Kyrie gonna punch him in the mouth.
Yeah, he's scared to just exert himself in that authoritative way. Like, look, hey, he ain't from Canada too. He's like, I haven't even dealt. He's probably only been on like 1 or 2 arguments his whole life. Everything's just pretty chill up there.
Hey, put that down, eh?
Yeah. Hey, please stop.
That's Scottish.
Hey, no, it's Canadian.
That's not Canadian.
When the last time you was in Canada?
Years ago.
All right, there you go. So it's Canada right now.
And your act, hey, I love your act. Hey, man, I'm gonna produce a clip. I'm gonna tell our fans, I'm gonna produce a clip of Rob doing all the accents and what he believes that they are. That's gonna be a clip.
What are you talking about?
Now that was more Canadian.
Yeah, I think. And then did you hear? Oh gosh, we could just stay on this topic for a long time. But did you hear that Kyrie was hosting his own practices while he was up there in Brooklyn?
I did not.
Yeah, he was running his own practices. Yeah, with the team. Yes. So get your research in on that one if you guys haven't heard about it.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that, and then we're going to bring that back up in some sort of other content because that's amazing if he's like, what are you doing, bro? I guess he really was because he wasn't
no coach.
Was he the one who said we don't need no coach?
We don't need no coach.
Wow. But if Steve Nash was my coach, that was probably what I would be doing.
Hey y'all, you just got your own group text.
Meet me at LA Fitness.
No. Meet me at the Barclays.
Yo,
you running your own practice.
That's all.
Not even at the practice.
Was
facility.
Durant there?
Oh, I don't know. If he was, that's never gonna work. If that's never gonna work.
There has not been any conversation about relieving him of his duties.
Lord, I know.
No conversation.
I know, and they got rid of old boy beforehand. Damn, I forgot his name. Who was doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Gosh, why can't I remember his name right now?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Listen, like always, we ask you to like, subscribe, and mash the notification button so you'll know when we're going, when new episodes are coming out, and when we're going live, which will be something that's happening during football season. We'll announce that and give you a little bit more information about that in the weeks to come. Also, reach us on all of our social media platforms at statlinesmatter on TikTok, Facebook, also on Twitter and Instagram. And follow my man here on his comedy channel, Laugh with Rob Hunter. Yes. And like we said, now listen, go check him out.
Yeah, please.
And because he's got a bunch of stuff planned in the fall, dropping a whole bunch of new comedy stuff. And like you can really see what he's about over there doing his comedy thing, and then why he's so funny here. You'll get the context, because I'm big on context. You'll get the context about why he's so funny here.
And my son, who's here while we're filming this, you would be supporting him by going over to check it out. Yeah. I have 2 other children. I have 3 sons, but one is here now. One is here, and big time basketball player here in the state of Georgia, class of 2024. Soon to be at a Division I school near you. No pressure. No pressure on Robbie Jr. So on behalf of our team here at StatlinesMatter, on behalf of my partner Rob Hunter Jr., I'm Mark Stewart, and this is StatlinesMatter. Peace.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.